What's up, guys? Sam here. Just got back done running from Apple Park in Cupertino to St. Louis, Missouri to report the latest iPhone 12 news to you. Not rumor, not leak, confirmed from Apple. They're just announced. The iPhone 12 mini, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, and can I get an iPhone 12 Pro Max? Yes, we can, because that is what Apple announced, and I want to help you understand them. This video is brought to you by NordVPN. As a person who is into this stuff, I was watching and I was like, wow, 4 iPhone models. This is the first time we've ever seen this much at once. Listen, I can barely handle making myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, let alone comprehending this event. So let's go ahead and jump in. iPhone 12 versus iPhone 12 Pro. What are the actual differences this year? Because unlike in previous years, the two Pros are not the same. And while the two 12s are, there's a lot of differences among the line. So let's go ahead and jump in. Drop a like if you're excited. Hit subscribe for more. And guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's actually start off with pricing for these models because I feel like this is going to be the biggest differentiator. Yes, screen size or premium materials or camera options will help you decide. But I feel like for most of you, I know how I am, I look at the price and then I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry, Sarah. Johnny does have to eat, so I'll be taking the iPhone 12 mini. We can't do the Pro Max this year. So let's start there with the iPhone 12 mini. This has a 5.4-inch screen, comes in at $699. Exact same price as where the iPhone 11 started last year. Next up is iPhone 12, $799 for a 6.1-inch display. For the Pro models, we've got iPhone 12 Pro, which is $999, the same price point that we've been at since the iPhone 10 from 2017. And then, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you do actually get more than just a bigger 6.7-inch screen on the iPhone 12 Pro Max for $1,099. $1,099. So $700 to $1,100 is the range this year. And while $700 is not cheap, I mean, with 5G and all the other new features we're going to be talking about, Apple could have very easily raised the price, and they didn't. So how did they do this? How did Apple include 5G, which is really expensive to develop, and a whole new design with flat edges on all the models, and great upgrades to the camera, Dolby Vision on the Pros? How did they do this? Well, if you look in the box this year, that's going to tell you everything you need to know. You've probably seen it on the internet by now, but there's no charger or headphones in the box. Now, listen, the headphones, I mean, if you're still using the Apple headphones day to day, I get it. But also, you can remove those. I don't know many people that still rock the in-box headphones. However, there's also no charger. Apple wants to upsell you this new thing called the MagSafe charger. It's $40. It magnetically snaps to the back of any of these iPhone 12s, and it's pretty cool, okay? At the same time, you have to buy a charger. Apple had a bunch of stats, there's 2 billion chargers around the world, and most people don't even use the headphones, and listen, they're probably right, but I still wish I got a charger with my phone. So that's a similarity. No charger in the box and a new super thin box across the board this year. It's pretty wild. It doesn't look like any iPhone box we've ever seen. It's literally just going to be the phone and a few pieces of paper. Now, something else to consider when you're looking at these phones is stop filming me. This has gone on for too long. Why are you over there creeping?
No, man, it's just Jake with TMZ. We're trying to get your opinion on the new iPhone that just came out.
Yeah, I know the iPhone 12 is out, but I also know it's time to switch on NordVPN every time I see you because I actually want to have some privacy left in my life. See, he's going to tell you, I'm just looking. I'm not doing anything suspicious, when really he's taking all your data, writing it down to the T, and then gonna sell you things based on that, which is not only creepy, it's also uncomfortable. See, when you sign up at nordvpn.com/iupdate, you are getting access to over 5,000 servers around the world. You can even get through the Great Firewall of China content restrictions, a super fast connection speed. Sign up right now, nordvpn.com/iupdate for less than $375 a month. Not only are they throwing in an entire month for free on the 2 years plan, you also get a bonus gift, which is very, very exciting. And I mean, who doesn't like bonus gifts? All right, guys, NordVPN, they're the best by far. Start staying safer online today. So the best way to understand these phones and the differences between the 12s and the 12 Pros is probably feature by feature, like screens, designs, cameras, battery life, and then you can really see what you get for a couple $100 more with the Pros. Spoiler alert, I don't think the Pros are really worth upgrading to. And this is coming from somebody who's gonna buy a Pro just because I want the best phone. But if you really look at it this year, there's not a whole lot that makes the Pro that intriguing, that makes it worth it. So let's start off with the designs. Design-wise, obviously these phones look really different. They don't look like an iPhone from years past. Does this ring a bell like iPhone 5 for anybody, or iPhone 4S? They're boxy. They've got squared off edges. In fact, they look really similar to the iPad Pros. And on the 12s, you get an aluminum finish, just like you've gotten on the lower end iPhones for a while. But if you want to pay a little bit more, they've got a stainless steel band that goes around them. So the way light reflects, the way it feels in your hand. I mean, the quality of the phone will feel more premium, but that doesn't impact functionality at all. It's just like the 12 Pros look prettier, but the same boxy design is shared across the board. And this transfers to colors as well. You get blue and red and green and black and white on the iPhone 12s, but you get a deeper blue, graphite black, and white and gold. Gold is only available on the iPhone 12 Pros, and there's some new finish Apple has done there. So you can tell, again, it doesn't impact functionality, but does it look aesthetically nicer? I think that's a fair argument. But the lower end materials on the iPhone 12 make this a benefit. While all the phones are actually less, I guess, depth, like they're thinner year over year from the 11 series, the iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max pretty much weigh the same as the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro Max from last year. But the iPhone 12s are significantly thinner and lighter than the iPhone 11 series. I mean, and it makes sense, like smaller screen sizes are gonna be smaller and lighter than bigger screen sizes with bigger screens. But you know, let's say you wanna get rugged with these bad boys, dude. You wanna take out the 12 Pro, you wanna go to the beach and surf a little bit. What is the water resistance like? Because amazingly, it's the same across the board here. This design, regardless of if it adds weight or not, is up to 6 meters water resistant, which is really wild that Apple did not leave that to the Pros to gain the water resistance this year. All of them are going to hold up just as well if you take them for a little swim or go out into a sandstorm like in every Apple ad. Also the same across the board is for the display. If we take a look at these between the 12 and the 12 Pros, obviously bigger screens, Pro, smaller screens, 12. That's the best way to think about it. And they're all OLED this year. They all are going to look sharp with incredible black levels, insane contrast ratios. I mean, these are going to be the best looking displays ever across the board, and you're getting this on every single iPhone 12 model. However, there is a slight difference here that Apple didn't highlight. Even though they're all OLED and they're going to look the same, they don't get as bright. The 12 Pros go up to 800 nits, where the 12s just get to 625. Now, in direct sunlight, you'll be able to see a difference here. Like if you're outside in bright areas a lot, the Pros, like they just physically get brighter. It's really nice. I actually love it. It's the same as the iPhone 11 Pro last year. And it's helpful. Like it's an actual feature that's helpful. It's not like you can't use your iPhone 12 when it's super bright, but it's nice to have that little bit extra brightness to help you out if you are in a scenario where there's a ton of light around you or you wear sunglasses and it dims your screen. Okay, but at least the processor is better on the Pros. Like I'm gonna get more for the Pro. No, buddy, you're actually gonna get screwed yet again. No, I'm playing because you are getting the A14 chip inside of here. And honestly, we don't even know what A14 means yet, but Apple has previewed it in the newest iPad Air. It's a 6-core processor inside of here, up to 50% faster graphics across the board when compared. Oh, it just sounds like I just like slapped myself, dude. It's the power of the A14. What does this actually mean? Like besides that it enables new camera functionality, which we'll jump to momentarily. Like it's fast, it's power efficient, it's the fastest chip in a mobile phone right now. It enables things like 5G, also jumping into that momentarily. Like it's really great, and you get it across the board this year. So even if you get the 12 mini, you're getting the same performance as the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and technically it enables just as much. A big part though of the lineup that I sort of wanted to bridge in the middle here right before camera is 5G. Okay, 5G. They had they had the CEO of Verizon and does this huge 5G promo. 5G. What the hell is 5G? Do you know? Because I do this for a living and I barely know. Here's what I understand about 5G. It's a quarter or a tenth of the way rolled out across the US where I live. It basically only works in densely populated urban areas like downtown Chicago, or it's coming later this year to downtown St. Louis where I live. But if you get out of the I'm not even talking about the city of Chicago. I'm talking about downtown Chicago. It's gone. You don't get 5G. You get 4G or a slower version of 5G. It's very weird how Apple has made it sound like 5G is just the biggest part of these phones. And I bring this up to say that all the phones have the same 5G. They are all getting the fast and the slow frequency. They can both pick it up. They can hop between the two, and you still have LTE as well. So 5G, do not buy this phone because you hear that. Apple is marketing these as like you need to hop on 5G. It's here. 5G is not real yet. It is not fully rolled out. For the most part, it's just an idea. It's a concept, and it's coming. And in the next couple of years, then it's going to be here. But this is not like 4G LTE, where it was just kind of out everywhere. There's so many different niches for 5G, and I just wanted to put this disclaimer in here because Apple makes it sound like you gotta upgrade to get these speeds. But you're only gonna get the speeds that they're talking about of up to 4 GB download or 2 GB upload if you're next, like literally within feet of a cell tower. It's not like traditional architecture for the cell service industry. And I'm just personally very skeptical to see what 5G does. So at this point, what is actually different with the Pro models? Like, why would you actually want to upgrade? Well, the cameras are a part of that, okay? But I still don't know if it's enough. So let's talk about cameras. The cameras this year are significantly better, but they go up in scale as you pay more money this year. So the 12 and the 12 mini have the exact same camera system to the T, but the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max have incredibly different camera systems, and you're getting the 12 Pro Max for only $100 more than the 12 Pro. The lenses themselves, they are new 7-element wide-angle lenses. They are 12 megapixels, so while the resolution did not change, the aperture is better. It's f1.6. So across the board this year, way more light is getting let in than on last year's iPhones. This means incredible low light performance. This means that general photography and videography is simply better in most lighting case scenarios. The lenses across the board are different. The Pros get 3 cameras, the 12s get 2 cameras. So you get a wide angle and an ultra wide angle on iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12, and you get a ultra wide, wide, and telephoto optical zoom lens on the Pros. So this essentially equates to having more versatility when you're shooting. You can zoom in and have higher resolution further on the Pros. And it's not like it makes photos bad on the minis. It's just like you don't have as much to do. You know, you can do less with the cameras, obviously, because you're paying significantly less. All these phones get improved deep fusion, improved night mode. You also get HDR3, which is incredible. It just combines the brightest and the darkest points of an image. So faces are balanced with background, with trees, with shadows, with whatever you're shooting. You're getting these computational photography improvements across the board, but the Pros start to jump ahead when it comes to something called Apple ProRes. It's a whole new RAW format, it's Apple Pro RAW. It's Apple Pro RAW, it's called. It's a new RAW format that's coming out later this year to the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max that enable a super high resolution native capture of detail. Generally, you had to do this through a third party to unlock the full capability of the camera sensor, but now you can do that in conjunction with Apple's HDR, in conjunction with Deep Fusion, in conjunction with night mode, and you're only getting this on the Pros. So photography, and you'll continue to see into videography, is the one area where it's not like, I mean, the 12s come close, but there is significant upgrades in quality of capture and versatility with the 12 Pro series. Portrait mode also a big deal. Well, you can do portrait mode at night on the iPhone 12 Pros. Now this is a bit more niche, but again, you're getting this that you're not getting on the 12s with the Pros. You can take photos of people in portrait mode using the low light capability, which is gonna be pretty sweet. Apple showed some photos, I was impressed. And that's not all with the Pros. Video is an entirely different story because there's a new sensor on the Pros that the 12s physically don't have. It's a LiDAR sensor. We first saw this debut on the iPad Pro. It shoots a laser back, it's called time of flight, and it calculates how far away something is from your camera by shooting this laser out and back, and it knows to the millimeter pretty much where this object is. This means way better functionality for augmented reality on the Pros applications there. Like, if you've ever used the Apple Measure app, it actually makes it accurate when you use a LiDAR sensor on the phone, but it helps with autofocus. You know how at night things get a little sketchy with focus? Now you've got a laser that can see at night. It's like night vision basically on your phone. You've got the ability to focus instantly anywhere because it's using the LiDAR sensor on the Pros, which is something you don't get on the 12s. Incredibly exciting, and this carries over into video as well. Faster video audio focus and the highest codec resolution available. Apple announced this big thing, which is Dolby Vision HDR capture. This is like the Netflix standard that they use to record their films. We're getting the ability to natively record in this format on the iPhone. You can do up to 30 FPS on the 12, but you can go all the way up to double that, 60 FPS, Dolby Vision, HDR, 4K, 60 frames per second recording. Okay, you're getting 4K 60 Dolby Vision on the Pro models of the iPhone. And you're getting 30 FPS. So it's not like you can't do it, but you get twice the frame rate because you're buying one of the Pro models. And you can see, there are some big differences here. But this year, for the first time in a while, Apple made some big differences between the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max, as I previewed earlier. The pixels are way bigger on the 12 Pro Max. The amount of light that goes into the wide-angle lens, significantly better. Stabilization-wise, one of the lenses has optical stabilization on the iPhone 12 and 12 mini. Two are stabilized on the iPhone 12 Pro, I believe the telephoto and the wide, but even the ultra-wide gets stability on the iPhone 12 Pro Max because Apple is using this functionality, this feature called sensor shift stabilization, which is stabilizing the sensor itself to capture photos rather than the lens. And the 12 Pro Max is significantly better for video recording and for photos because inside it lets in 87% more light. Not only has Apple changed the optical zoom from 2x to 2.5x on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, it's got 87% better low light photos because there are larger pixels, which is crazy. Like, Apple is going to be bringing these larger pixels, we're hearing, to all phones next year. But right now it's exclusive to the 12 Pro Max is getting this a year early for insane upgrades to photos. This is enabling 5x optical zoom range, up to 12x digital zoom instead of only 10x on the iPhone 12 Pro. And as I mentioned earlier, you're getting sensor shift optical across the board. So stabilization for video especially is going to be insane on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So how do you summarize this? Because that's so many details. Like, I had to read off some of this because it's just frankly too much information for one person to comprehend. If you take photos on your phone, get the iPhone 12. It's going to be great. If you're pretty into taking photos, then get the iPhone 12 Pro. But if you want the best camera, arguably in a mobile application in the world, then you should get the iPhone 12 Pro Max because the better low light, the larger pixels will equate to significant and tangible improvements in photo quality. And across the board, on the front of these phones, the cameras are identical. So no matter which iPhone 12 you get, while the back cameras can be quite a bit different depending on which model you choose, the front FaceTime, selfie cam, it's 12 megapixels. It looks good. You can even do like night mode selfies now, which is pretty sweet. You couldn't do that on the 11s last year. So you get that on every model. What's left to talk about these phones? Battery life, probably. That's pretty important. And actually the battery life is weird because the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12, the two 6.1-inch models, have the exact same battery life. Pro, that is supposed to be more battery life. But both these 6.1-inch models, both the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro, get the exact same prescribed battery life. So even if you spend $200 more, your battery is not even really getting better between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro. Now, if you go down to the iPhone 12 mini, you have the worst battery life of the bunch, 15 hours straight video playback or 10 hours of streamed. And then if you want the best, the biggest battery, I mean, the Pro Max has long been the plus size phone. Obviously, because it's bigger, it has the biggest battery. You're talking 20 hours video playback, 12 hours streamed. It is so great. Like, that's a big reason you might want to buy the Pro Max. Storage capacities have increased this year. So if you buy a Pro at $1,000 minimum, you are getting 128 gigabytes of storage. However, on the 12 and 12 mini, you're only getting 64. So in summary, like, this is a little bit of information. What does it mean? For me, these are my big takeaways. The iPhone 12 Pro Max is $1,100, and it's the best phone feature set wise of the bunch. It is also the largest. It has a 6.7-inch screen. So if you don't like big phones, you're gonna miss out on the biggest, baddest features. That's just what Apple's done this year. Significant upgrades to the camera, significant upgrades to battery life, a significantly larger screen than anything else. You're going from 6.1 half an inch bigger to 6.7 inches. In the middle of the line, I really don't think it's that tough of a call. Like, if you've got $800 or $1,000, I think the iPhone 12 is the way to go. It's got the same 6.1-inch screen. It has a lot of the same camera fundamentals. It has the same battery life. It has the same 5G. Yes, the Pro has some bonus features in the same 6.1-inch display. Like, it does get a little bit brighter. It has a LiDAR sensor on the camera. It can record higher quality video playback and gets the Apple ProRAW format. But you have to be really into camera features, again, to make that worth it. And of course, for me, like, I like the premium materials. I like the way the stainless steel looks. You'll notice in the marketing, Apple always uses black when they talk about the Pros and white when they talk about the standard iPhone 12s. That's because in our heads, black is associated with something more premium or luxurious. It's a great way to sell the phone. But out of all these phones, you cannot forget about the iPhone 12 mini. It has a smaller 5.4-inch screen, but that also means it fits in your hand really nice, and it is super thin and super light. It's got 5G like everything else. It's got the great camera upgrades. It's got the A14 processor. It's got the OLED screen. There's not much except maybe a little bit more battery life and a couple of tweaks to the camera that the iPhone 12 mini is missing. But I think that's good enough. I think the iPhone 12 mini is gonna be a huge seller, and it's also the lowest cost iPhone 12 this year. That phone is the most interesting to me because we haven't seen Apple go down in screen sizes ever on the flagship iPhones. And the 5.4-inch iPhone is the smallest iPhone in years. So comment down below on which of these phones you plan on getting. Let me know if this video helped you out or you learned something new. Thanks again to NordVPN for sponsoring. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll catch all of you in my next video. You know, the 12 Pros, the 12s, they're here. Some better than others. See you guys.